What a difference a bit of sun makes. In this video I want to talk about my mental health struggles, how we've moved on from October. So if you didn't know, I deleted my YouTube channel back in October due to I was having a very bad time, and I thought I'd just touch on that subject in this video, as well as some other sort of channel updatey stuff. I'm on the Suzuki GSX 1000 GX, had to think about the name then, it's such a long-winded blooming name. But yeah, here we go. 20 degrees. That is unheard of. Let's go. So yeah, last October I deleted my YouTube channel. It had 94,000 subscribers. I was having a really bad time. I'll put a card up. There's that video, what happened. But in that video I talked about my mental health struggles, which I've had for quite a long time. And I just wanted to kind of touch on that. Kind of a mental health update or mental health check-in. Firstly, and most importantly, how are you guys doing? I hope you're all well. If you are struggling, you're not alone, first of all. And also there are some resources that may or may not help you, but I'll put them in the description there. So MH Motorbike are a group of people, mental health first aiders, and they offer support to bikers like you and I. I've not actually used them myself, and I'm not affiliated with them in any way, shape or form, but they seem to offer support, which is great. And you know, I've always said the more people talk about this, the better. Having an open dialogue is great. And the reason I mention this stuff in my videos is not for sympathy, but it's to raise awareness. And if I can inspire one person to get some help, then that's been worthwhile. It's been worthwhile for me to talk about it. There we go. So that's why I do it. And I know it annoys some people, but honestly I don't care. I'm going to talk about it, and I'll continue to do it. Not in every video, but I will have specific videos where I talk about mental health. And actually, if you look at my the banner on my YouTube channel, I said that in a weird way, not YouTube, yeah, anyway. Do you ever focus on a word and then the more you say it, the more weird it sounds? Anyway, I'm getting off topic, as per. Yep, thought you'd do that. You're just going to put out, aren't you? And then you're going to go really slowly. Great, thank you. So if you look at my YouTube banner, you'll see Mind Machine Motion. That's not an accident. That's not some word salad. It's literally the ethos of what my new channel is all about. You got to look after the mind. You know, the mind is important. You got to look after that, and I will touch on that in certain videos. Machine, which is obvious, it's the motorcycle, and motion, which you can look at two ways. It's the motion of the machines, the bike moving forwards, or yourself moving forwards, and actually another way is motion, which is film, which is literally moving images. So it does mean something, and yeah, this video is very much a mind video. So I do have a separate playlist for these. First of all, I want to just touch on something. I don't really give advice about riding because I am far from a good or perfect rider. But I would say in situations like that where somebody pulls out in front of you, don't get angry, just let them do them, because ultimately you can't control what other people do. And I've seen so many videos online of people who are like, oh, you know, reacting and telling people to put their phone down. And I just think, do you know what? I don't want to be like that at all. Like, I'm not here to police other people. If they endanger my life, I have a right to be a little bit put out by it, but at the same time I can't control what people do. And also, they're not really going to listen to me anyway. Even if they were completely in the wrong, me telling them they are in the wrong isn't going to make them see that they're in the wrong. For the most part, I find people generally don't react in a positive way. If you go, hey, you fool, you just pulled out on me and risked killing me, they're not going to say, oh, well, thank you for bringing that up, I'm very sorry. Usually it's like, oh, fuck off, because people don't like being told they're wrong. At least that's what I found. Again, I'm not trying to give you advice. Patience is also, actually no, I am going to give you one piece of advice. Be patient. No matter what the situation is, when you're on a motorcycle, patience will literally save you so much aggro. Like, if somebody does something silly, or they're annoying you, just like that person, and, you know, I'm not perfect, I'm going to put that in there right now. It's much better just to remain calm, because ultimately, if you get all stressed out and upset, you're just affecting yourself, and you're going to be stressed and upset, and what good is that? So, after I deleted the old YouTube channel in October, I decided after, I think it was like a month, I decided to create a new one, because I really did miss creating, being a creator. I had that creative itch, and I just needed to satisfy that. So I created this channel. Now, it might seem like the same channel, but it's actually a different one. But we have gone past 20,000 subs, so thank you so much. That is pretty damn good in 3 months. So I was taking some medication for my anxiety or depression, combination of both, I suppose. It was sertraline. What was I on? 50 milligrams, I think. I've decided to stop taking that, but I did it the proper way this time round so that I wouldn't have a massive meltdown. And I reduced the dosage by half for about 6 weeks, and then I started reducing the amount of days I took half per week. So I started off, 7 days a week, and then I did 5 days a week, then I did 4 or 3, etc. You see where I'm going. And currently I am completely off the medication, and I feel okay now. There is a chance I might have a relapse, I think that's what it's called, but I'm hoping that won't happen, because I did the medically approved way of coming off the drugs. I did have a moronic comment, I like to say. So on that video where I was quitting YouTube and I said what happened, I put in a comment, like a pinned comment, that said, thank you everyone for support, because the response was absolutely lovely, overwhelmingly positive, but also quite sad in that it resonated with a lot of you that are also having mental health issues. So I found that really sad, but also hopefully my videos help, or they will help. That's, the biggest win for me, is if they inspire someone to go and get some help, or that if the actual video helps people deal with stuff. But yeah, this comment was like, I mentioned about the drugs, and this comment was, that's you on them till your dying day. And it's just like I find comments like that such a kind of you're weak sort of thing. I don't know if that's what's meant by it. They're trying to make me feel bad for going on the drugs, when in reality it's just, it's whatever people need to get through life, isn't it? Like, if you break your leg, you don't judge someone for having pain medication, and it's the same with your brain. Your brain is part of your body, and it's as real as anything else. Mental health issues are real. But I suppose this person could be also suffering from mental health, and they just refuse to take drugs. They see that as a weakness and aren't getting the help they need. Maybe that's it, I don't know. But yeah, I just thought, I'll be honest, I thought, what a dickhead comment, basically. But yeah, it's going to happen, isn't it? People on the internet, you only have to see any YouTube video within, I would say within 5 or 10 comments, there's an argument going on. you could put the nicest video on the internet, like 2 kittens just playing, and invariably people will end up having an argument about something, usually politics or some other crap. But I'm going to share my stuff, and I'm going to share these mental health stories, because I think they're important. And if you don't think that, then that's up to you. And don't watch my stuff. It's perfectly fine. Everyone's happy that way. But you don't feel the need to negatively comment on a video you don't agree with. There's literally no need. You can stop watching and you can move on and go about your day in peace. That's what I would say. Give yourself the peace, because why are you watching stuff you don't like and then getting wound up by it? I know we've all been there, but what's the point? I don't really get it. Maybe I'm just a bit more enlightened these days, I don't know. I was also on Teapot One's podcast recently, and we talked about everything from mental health to other political bits and pieces, which I won't mention because what's the point? But that was fun. Thank you, Bruce, for having me on. I'll put a link somewhere, a card up perhaps, if you want to go check that out. It is 2.5 hours of me me and Bruce just putting the world to rights, so you know, there is that. That's either a good thing or a bad thing, depending on whether you like me or Bruce, I suppose. Yeah, I was going somewhere. I was going somewhere with this message. Basically, is if you are struggling with mental health issues, first of all, I hear you, and you're not alone. Secondly, there are places you can get support if you want it, and I'll put those in the description. Exercise helps, but also what I've really found is riding a motorcycle, especially when the weather's nice. Riding a motorcycle really does tend to pick your mood up. And I can say without fear of it being accused of being flippant that motorcycles actually saved my life. I think without motorcycles I probably wouldn't be here today. Now I think that's a tough thing to admit. I truly believe that. I think motorcycles, as well as my amazing partner, she's been absolutely fantastic. But not everybody has that support in place. What's the whole plan with this channel? So one thing I found out with the old channel after a decade and over 300 videos is that, nice Africa twin sir, is that a lot of the times I pressured myself to do too much. I took on far too much and it made me feel unwell. So that is something I want to avoid on this new channel. It is difficult because there's so much to look forward to. Coming out of winter and into spring and summer, I do find naturally I'm more aligned to go and make content, or make opportunities to make content. If you get my drift, I'm trying to set things up essentially for the 2026 season. But the minute I start feeling that pressure, I'm going to back off a bit. Because the last thing I want is any sort of pressure on this channel. I mean, my own pressure is going to be there because that's just how it is. You know, we all give ourselves pressure and we're the harshest critics of ourselves, aren't we? You know, I have been able to put out a video almost every week, sometimes 2 a week, because I had a lot of older content that I managed to salvage from the other channel. Now that isn't that I was actually just able to salvage those video files, it's that I had the Premiere Pro project and the footage still to recreate that video footage. So the old channel was dead, it's gone, nothing can be salvaged, even though that turned out to be a complete lie from YouTube, Google, which is annoying because at the time I reached out to them it had only been like 10 days, so they basically lied to me and said, oh no, there's no way we can get this channel back. Turns out 3 months later they were like, oh yeah, there is some stuff still there, but most of it's gone now. Yeah, thanks Google, thanks very much. There's no point getting angry about it, because what's the point in that? I'll just be angry and nothing will change, other than me just being angry. So, you know, we are where we are. And actually, in a way I'm glad, because I've got a new channel and it's kind of more focused on what I want to do. So there we are. But the plan is not one video a week. At some point my current sort of regime will plateau a little bit, but I am looking at doing a lot more stuff that I want to, so tour stuff, fun projects, interesting projects. I've got a few of those in the pipeline. Just different things, adventures and fun. Not necessarily a Richie Vida or Teapot One style tour where I filmed the entire thing, and because that to me is like, what they do is great. I love watching their tours, fantastic. Richie's Scotland stuff that he did in January, absolute nut job. But yeah, they're really watchable. But I think for me that's like quite a lot of editing and trawling through footage. I'm probably more likely to do a 1 or 2 part video that's a bit more montagey with some voiceover stuff. But we'll see. You know, I'm going to try all sorts of different things, because I'm not afraid to do that anymore. Like before, it was like I had to do bike reviews because that's where all my views came from, that's where the money came from, and now that's all gone. I actually feel freer to do stuff I want to do. So it doesn't matter if a video only gets like 5,000 views. Like I see that as a really good thing. Yeah, so I feel liberated, if I'm honest with you. Liberated by this new, I don't know what you call it, new lease of life. And I'm really fortunate as well to have another crack at this. I think I am anyway. Because that, you know, doesn't happen to everybody. And I'm very thankful to the manufacturers who still are offering me bikes and letting me, you know, go out on events, even though that's not happened yet. I think I have heard from a few of the manufacturers and said I might not get invite launches anymore, or certainly not to start with, and that's fine because they are, well, that confuses me a little bit because they say they're based on numbers and reach, but then when you look at some people who go on these launches, they have, their current reach is even smaller than my new channel, so I don't really understand. But then they are usually a certain demographic, if you know what I mean. Yeah, that always confuses me a bit. But anyway, you know, there's no, what can I do? I can't control what other PR agencies are doing. But for the most part, the PR people I've spoke to are all really supportive, so that's much appreciated. But yeah, I just want to do some different stuff. So with that in mind, 2026, I've got a few things planned. In May, Rob and I are going to Switzerland. Never been before, so really excited for that. We're going to do a night in France on the way down, just because we don't want to do one big slog on the first day, even though it is still quite a big slog. And we're going to do 3 nights in the Swiss Alps at the same place, because it looks absolutely stunning. And we're going to use that as a base and go out for day trips. It's about an hour and a half away from the actual passes, but I dare say the scenery will still be the scenery will still be stunning. So you know, it's not like it's going to be boring. And then hopefully we'll do a day trip to Italy as well, so that we can say we've ridden around Italy. Come on, dear, let's get going. Come on, dear. Come on, Jeffrey. Yeah, so we're going to go down to the Italian lakes, and then on the way back we'll give ourselves like a couple of days, I think, to get back home, so it's not a major slog. And we're going to stop, I think we're stopping in Longres, which is like a walled city. It looks really cool. And that's May's trip, and we're doing that on I'm doing that on the Tracer 7 GT, my long-termer, and hopefully Rob will be on the Tracer 9 GT, so we'll be able to, you know, do a bit of 7 versus 9 on tour, what's it like, that kind of stuff, which I think could be fun. And then in July I'm going to France with my good lady. Might not do that on a bike, I'm not sure yet, but if I do it on a bike I'll be able to do some form of video, but not a tour video. It will just be perhaps a little pillion focused video. What bike will I be doing that on? I'm hoping I'll be doing that on a Tracer 9 GT Plus. So if you can't tell, Yamaha are very keen to support me. They've been absolutely amazing. And then in August I'm going off to Montenegro. I actually went there last year in May, and unfortunately the day we landed is the day my dad passed away, so that tour never happened. So we actually flew out there, actually landed there, and yeah, I got the sad news. So this is to hopefully actually get that trip done, and I have a bit of a plan for that trip, which does involve something to do with my dad, so it might be slightly emotional, but you know, going to lean into it. It's going to be authentic content, you know. Power! What a bonkers motorbike! What a bonkers motorbike! You know, this bike, I've had this for, oh god, about 6 months. However, I had it kind of in the worst possible time, just before I nuked my channel, and then winter, so I've not done that much with it, to be honest. I will do one last video, because I've done enough with it to know what it's like to live with. So look out for that. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already, because I've got lots of stuff coming if you want to see that kind of stuff. I've bought a CF Moto 450 MT. That announcement video is going out today, so there'll be CF Moto content, you know, off-road, as well as adventure touring, that kind of stuff. This corner is notoriously bad for oil and gravel and diesel and all sorts. What else have we got going on? I've got a couple of brand deals going on, but they're I think they're quite fun. So the way I'm approaching brand deals is, if I think the product's good, I will consider it. I'm not just going to take a paycheck from a company because I don't want to do that. Like, I'm not throwing shade at anybody that has to do that because of, you know, they need the money. Like full-timers, they don't really have a choice because YouTube doesn't really pay that much. But for me and my channel, I do not want to force crap upon your eyes and ears that I don't think is any good. So if you do see a brand deal on my channel, it is literally because I've used the product and I think the product is not only good, but it's an excellent product. No, this video is not sponsored. It's sponsored by me and you, hopefully, so subscribe. So yeah, please subscribe. So yeah, I'm going to be very, very selective with my brand deals because I can be. Not everyone is in that position. And I'm very lucky that this is essentially a side gig for me. It's not my main income. Just as well, because the income I get currently from this channel would not cover a month's worth of fuel. It doesn't cover the fuel that I use in a month, let's put it that way. Let alone the software. But that's, you know, that's my doing, because my other channel, my previous channel, I earn about 2k a month, give or take, but that was putting out a video every single week and having to do that, so, you know, it came at a cost. I'm not bragging, I'm just trying to give you some numbers here. Not bragging anyway, because that's not exactly loads of money, is it? You can't retire on it, can you? I'm not a YouTube millionaire. I do love it when people sort of make that sort of comment. Oh, you're just doing it for the money. Mate, if you're doing YouTube, you're not doing it for the money. If you're looking at getting a YouTube channel, the money will not be coming unless you do clickbait crap, basically. That isn't what we're about here. I don't think the motorcycle niche, for the most part, there are certainly those creators who do lean into the short form brain rot content. You all know of someone that's doing it. Yeah, that's not for me. That's not my cup of tea. I've tried it in the past and it's just like, you know what, that doesn't sit right with me. It's not what I want to be doing. Long form videos, I might experiment a bit with cutting up my long form videos into sections for shorts, and that's just so I can entice people to come along to my channel and check out my other videos. Oh god, there's so much crap on the roads. Yeah. We haven't got off-road tyres, be careful. Yeah, so gosh, what else do I need to talk about? Let's talk quickly about this bike, Suzuki GSX S1000 GX. It's a tool-rounder version. They've got the S1000 GT, they've got the S1000 Naked, they've got the new Gixxer coming out, so it's got the similar engine. This one isn't quite as powerful as the Gixxer version, but it's makes 150 horses, weighs about 500 pounds or 230 kilos. I think this is actually a bit underrated, this bike, because, you know, people are very obsessed with what's new, and I think that's just part of the YouTube sphere. You're always reviewing the new bikes, not what's been and gone. I know there is a new version. This has got like those faux wings that don't do anything. I'm not a fan of faux wings, if I'm honest with you. I think they look silly, but yeah, whatever. I do like the white and blue version of that bike though. Power! Whoa! We're wheeling, we shouldn't be. But yeah, absolutely stonking machine. It's got full electronic suspension from KYB. It's I've had to kind of set it up in a certain way because I felt a bit odd about it before. The tyres, I've changed the tyres. We've got Bridgestone T33s. They have made the biggest difference. This bike now handles like an absolute dream. But also you'll notice, I don't know if you can see that on the dashboard, I've got the preload set to rider and passenger, and that's just to tip the bike on its nose a little bit so that it turns in a bit quicker. And I've got it in riding mode B because I find A mode just a little bit too aggressive, just a bit much, a bit twitchy, a bit snatchy. This road is horrible and I end up hurting my neck, so I'm just going to use my mirror here, which, I don't know, people could say that's a bit risky, but the mirror is literally reflecting the real world. So there we go, after this one. It's an absolute rocket ship, this bike. It's fairly comfortable. I still think after about an hour I'm kind of ready to have a little break, so it's not the most comfortable seat in the world. There is a comfort seat you can get, but yeah. But the performance is absolutely flipping stonking. Obviously you've got the new Honda CB1000 GT bike coming out, the Tourer, which is a touring version of my Hornet. I'd love to try that at some point. I know the launch has been and gone. I don't get invited to Honda launches. Even when I had my old channel, I didn't get invited to Honda launches. I don't really know why. I did speak to the guy, Mr. Marketing Man, and he's a lovely chap. But I don't know how much influence he has on the numbers and who goes and who doesn't go. So I don't know. It's difficult to know why sometimes, but it would certainly help if I was a different demographic. You know, I'm just stating facts here. They seem to be very popular at the moment and getting invited to all the things. Yes, you duck your head in shame, Doreen. Oh dear. But you see, do you know what? That, like, I could have beeped there and I could have sworn, and what's the point? Like her demeanour, she was kind of like hunkering down. I think that was an admission that she kind of messed up there, but what's the point in getting angry? It's gone. I'm past the event, and that might not look that close, but it was really close. But you know, you got to think ahead a bit as well. Yes, boys. There's a load of mud just up here. But anyway, yeah. So that's kind of the shindig, you know. That's where we're at. So before I finish, I just want to say again, if you are struggling with mental health issues, do consider getting support. There is support out there. You're not alone, and you have my utmost sympathies and empathy and all the good stuff. And I hope you feel better. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. We've just gone over 20,000. To me, 20,000 is as much as I ever need. I'm happy. To me, this is mission complete. I don't need that 100,000 plaque, because I've kind of done it anyway, really, if you think about it. I got to, what, 94 and now 20, so anyway. Yeah, I'm not obsessed about the numbers, he says, sounding convincingly. Yeah, but, you know, I'm happy with where I am at. I'm content with my content. Haha, I'm so funny. God, I'm sorry, I'm all over the place today. I haven't had any lunch. It's 3:20. I'm very hungry. Right, we'll just pull in here, which is my usual little stop, where I do my little doohickeys, walk-arounds. Then I'll say goodbye to you. Goodbye. It's goodbye from me and goodbye from him. Now, one thing I want to get better is slow speed bike control, because I feel like I've lost a bit of skills. So that's something I'm going to concentrate on. I might make a video out of that, actually. Let me know if you want to see that. That would be great. Right. Let me just jump off the bike for a second and properly say goodbye. Oh dear. Bike needs a clean. Jesus. Yeah. Yeah, so first day of beautiful sunshine in February. Yeah, thank you very much for watching this video. It has been a bit of a meandering, waffling video, but that's kind of the stuff I do. So, you know, hopefully you enjoyed it. All that's left for me to say is, if you do go out today, do ride safe, but have fun, of course. Otherwise, what's the point? Until next time, you take care. Peace.